I'm going to give you the best way to get your residual income going and have a sustainable personal brand and kick off a residual income fast that has no ceiling to it. I'm going to just kick it off like this and say, if I had to start over today, what would I do? And we're going to use the board. We're going to jump right in today. This is probably going to be a starting point for many of you, but it may also be an adjustment phase for many of you, because I know a lot of you guys are doing the wrong things. I see it. You're doing the non-important things. Okay? So, what do you say we just jump in? What is it that I would do exactly if I had to start over? It's kind of the same things I do today, okay? So shall we draw? What do you think? Shall we start drawing? You guys definitely want to take notes here. I'm going to kick it off with a disclaimer. A disclaimer's funny because it's the best way. I'm going to give you the best way to get your residual income going and have a sustainable personal brand and kick off a residual income fast that has no ceiling to it. And I mean, I could say it's a disclaimer of what I would do, but I don't know any better way. And those of you who know me, I break it down. I study it. I try to find the most simple ways for certain tasks, certain techniques, certain strategies for certain things. But when you look at the overall picture, it's really 4 things that you need to have in place and continue to work on. So I'm going to break it down like this. There are four things you need to set up, okay? 4 important things you need to set up. And then not only will I tell you what they are, I'm going to tell you how to set them up. Now here's where it may sound a little biased. Bias? Is that it? I'm biased because I'm offering you my stuff. So I'm going to state that as I get to it. I'll be like, you can go anywhere to get an autoresponder. You can go anywhere to get somewhere to accumulate your audience members. But I will give you what I believe are the best options for the lowest price possible. Fair enough. So I will give you the 4 blocks. I'll tell you what they are. I'll tell you how you can implement them today if you haven't already. And then I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the magic number, right? 7 action steps that you need to take, and you're off to the races. You're off to the races. The things you're going to basically be doing is educating yourself on a consistent basis, building your audience on a consistent basis, and making money and adding to your residual income on a consistent basis. How does that sound? How does that sound? Set you up with all those building blocks. I won't tell you exactly where to go for a lot of them, but I find in this situation today, I got to stay under the hour, y'all. I got to do it because this is what's going to make this webinar valuable. Okay? If I were to start over, what exactly would I do? And if I teach you that in under an hour, you're golden. You are golden. The only thing you need to do is take action on this stuff. And if you don't have faith in the process, write it down. Write it down. Go fail a little bit and then go back to this diagram, okay? Or dig into the automated webinars. Getting ahead of myself. Dig into the webinar replays. Go pick up the training vault. Get into all the training we have in Branding University. follow me. Check out my stuff. You're going to see that the best way for me to prove to you that my stuff works is by actually demonstrate. The best way I can demonstrate to you that it works is that having it actually working for you, and then you come back for more. But I'm just going to lay it all out today, okay? Shall we draw? I'm going to get an early Diva light break today. How's the hair? We're looking okay? I'm pumped up. I'm pumped up for a few reasons. As I drag this board closer, I'm pumped up because I believe that we're going to break. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to pay out 500 people. Yo, where are my 5-figure earners at? There's 3 of you. There's 3 of you. Are you here? Got 3 people in the system making 5 figures a month. And then we're going to be paying 500 people. Different people. That is like thing I'm the most grateful for. So here we go. What do you guys think let's take some guesses. Let's do some, whoa. Hello. The tripwire went off. Let's take some guesses, guys. Why don't you guys guess what you think the 4 things, should I call them things, that you need in, I'm going to say, a home business. So really what this is about is creating a residual income, but in order to do that, you need to build your own audience. So the end result is a residual income. That's the end result. But to get there, you need the other building blocks because you need to build an audience. Well, let me tell you what they are. Education, consistent education. You got to continue to learn. This upsets me a little bit, so I think I may just, I'm going to give, you know what? I'm going to give this as my pre-rant. Why is it that doctors, people studying in medical school or any trade or any kind of career, go to university forever? They're okay with spending all this money in school and not making a dime until they get out of school, when they don't even make a dime when they get out of school. And they spend how many hundreds of thousands, if it's med school, whatever the case may be, how many thousands of dollars, let's be conservative, and it's all okay. And then they hit the workforce and they have to work their way up to 100 grand and so on and so forth. It's all fine. But when it comes to this stuff, if somebody spends 200 bucks and they don't make 100 grand in like 6 months, they're upset. Why is that? Why is that? It's still money. This is better. You're working in your pajamas. You're creating residual income. You're working on your terms. Why do people feel entitled for that? I know I shouldn't ask why, but why? Why? Why is that? So with what I'm going to show you today, guys, it's the quickest way. It's the quickest. I don't guarantee things. I usually don't guarantee things, but I'm going to guarantee if you do this today, if you set yourself up, that's the key here. If you set yourself up this way, you cannot fail. Was that bold? Was that bold? Let's do this. Let's start with those building blocks. Who's got a pen and paper? I can see you there. You're not there right now. You're right there. Who's got a pen and paper? Who's going to take this seriously? I really hope you do, guys. Because this is going to be probably the best webinar I've ever done. Simply because if I had nothing, where would I start? Now this will get tricky. See the tripwire here? Let's bring it up close. All right. Should be pretty good. Digital board coming up soon. I always say that. That's good. Light off. How's that? Actually, is that bothersome? Is the screen bothersome there? No, that should be okay. It's good? Okay, let's kick it off like this. The 4, would I call them building blocks? The 4 components. The 4 components to building yourself a residual income the best way I know how. Now, I will mention affiliate program and I will mention network marketing because these are the, like I said, if I had to start over, these are the things I would do. And you're going to understand why all of these blocks need to be there. For the less, you're going to fail. You're going to fail along the way. There will be, what is it? Peaks and valleys. Am I good? You guys hear me, right? Peaks and valleys along the way. But this is it. This is it. So let's start with education. Right now I'm telling you what the blocks are, what the components are, and then I'm going to tell you how you can get these components and continuously feed these components. Number one, education. Who's writing it down? I'm going to look at the chat. Number two, a blog. I'm going to write them out, then I'm going to go into detail. Okay, guys? Number three, an audience capture mechanism. How fancy is that? Fancy schmancy, right? Audience capture mechanism. Do not overcomplicate things today, guys. Do not overcomplicate things. It's basic. This business is basic if you know the right components, how to implement them, and how to feed them and use them daily. Audience capture mechanism? Yeah, mechanism. I like that word. Audience capture mechanism. Number four, cha-ching, cha-ching. Something to sell. There's going to be two things here. I'll tell you what they are. Well, just something to sell. That's easy to put. That's easy. That's self-explanatory. Normally, I would say, those are the four things you need. That's it. Now, let me give a little disclaimer. I'll let you guys screenshot that or write it down. Just write it as I go. Education, without a doubt, is the most important thing. This is why you're here today. You're soaking this in. You're taking notes. This qualifies as your education. Blog, yeah, you're going to need a blog because is your blog your audience capture mechanism? Well, we're going to get into that a little bit. It's more than that. It's your identity online. Yes, it's going to have a capture mechanism within. So this should be more audience. It's okay. We're going to do a walk through it because I wrote it down. Of course, I wrote it down in a certain way in advance. So I would normally ask you guys, would you guys agree with this? That's what I would ask you. But in this case, I'm just going to go on ahead and tell you, this is it. Doesn't need to get more complicated than this. So if you guys look at this, how many people here have a regular education schedule where you're tuning into something and you're soaking something in regularly? Who has that? Who has a blog, an online presence? Who has, let's say, an audience? Yeah, that's not right. That's not right. I'm gonna correct that. That would be an audience. That would be an audience. Who has an audience? In other words, somewhere where your emails or Your audience members are stored. Who has that? It could be an autoresponder system. It could be a custom audience in your Facebook where you have your people, where you have your tribe, where you have your audience, where you have your list of emails. That's more accurate, actually. And who has something to sell? Who has all four of these things? You need all four of these things. So this is not one of these things where you say, well, I'm going to start with one. No, you get them all right away. From jump, on day one, you need all of these things. Okay? You with me on that so far? You need something where you store your audience. That's more like it. You need an educational system or somewhere where you're constantly learning in your niche. Specifically for us, we're going to go with online marketing and personal branding because that applies to any niche, and that's what's going to propel you in today's digital world, okay? Education. Constantly. Come every Sunday. Come to these webinars. You got that covered. Number 2, do you have a blog? Number 3, do you have somewhere where you store your audience members? Number 4, do you have something to sell? You need something to sell right off the bat. I'm not into this. I'm over it now. I'm over the fact that you have to wait to make money. You don't have to wait to make money anymore. I used to think that. I did mention the doctors and all that stuff, but it's because there is some initial investments to setting these little things up. We're going to get into that. You have all the options you want, but I'm going to provide you with options. Little pitch alert, little a pitch warning. So, audience, how can I say this? There are two ways that your audience is stored that we need to set up right away. So I'm going to give you everything that you need to do. It may seem advanced, but it's not. And it's better that you spend time on setting up these things properly now than later. So audience, I'm going to go times 2 because this will be number 1 will be a list of emails. Number 1. That's number 1. And number 2 is a custom audience. Custom audience. Now your blog is going to have a pixel. Pixel is a retargeting pixel where if somebody lands on your blog, I'm kind of working from the inside out. Education, we'll do it the right way then. Education, keep it simple. Get into all the training we have in Branding University.